boys, Deadman Mode Reborn is just a few days away and this season looks awesome, especially for swapping. All previous seasons has been Clanman mode. Nobody really who was a 1v1 player or single player competed for the final hour, because you get there and there'd just be two big massive clans that would wreck everybody. But JetX have fixed that this season. There's no final hour really, it's just everybody in the top 2048 players goes to 1v1 fights. No Clanman mode, and that is awesome if you want to play this game to make profit. Previously, by the end of Deadman mode, half of the players had quit, or more than half. It was down to like 10% of the player base for the final wee bit, just people who were in massive clans and the odd single player, but they didn't really stand much of a chance. Because they've fixed that, I think this Deadman mode is going to be much busier later, which is awesome if you want to swap. The JMods have said swapping is 100% allowed this season. They've confirmed it in a podcast. I'll put a wee clip of that in a second. And they've confirmed it on Twitter multiple times. So you can play this season, swap your money out to the regular version of the game and make some bank. Here's the wee clip from the podcast.
Swapping, because I'm actually trying to get people to play DMM mode, at least the first week, first day. It's so fun. But swapping is allowed. And with the combat bracketed worlds, swapping is going to be a whole new monster.
And there it is. There was 3 JMods on that live stream chatting with Madman Cow, and they were saying swapping is pretty much fine. They've also confirmed it on Twitter, so swapping is allowed and you can make absolute bank. But be safe, there is a lot of scammers out there, so make sure you swap small amounts and you don't get scammed, you know. First day in all the previous seasons, you could get 100 million GP in the regular version of the game for 1 mil Deadman mode, 1 to 100, which is pretty crazy. It does drop very fast as more gold comes into the game. By the end of the first day even it cut half in price. This is based on all the previous seasons. By the second day it's like 1 to 25, which is still crazy. You make 1 mil in this version, you get 25 million GP in the regular version. After a few days it drops down to like 1 to 3 or so it's still worth a lot more even at the end of the season, or it has been every other season. I think it will be the same, if not better this season, because there's going to be more people competing for the final hour, you know. So this is going to be pretty damn sweet. In this video I'm going to show you some of the best money makers. So let's jump straight into it, how to make absolute bank in Deadman Mode Reborn. Look at this, JetX just being absolute legends, telling us what is the best moneymakers in Deadman Mode. Pretty much the best moneymakers in every single season of Deadman Mode has been Ancient Warriors weapons. These are things like the Vesta Longsword, the Zerial Staff, even the Statius Warhammer and the Vesta Spear. They all sell for bank. The Spear's a wee bit cheaper obviously and the VLS is the most expensive, but if you can get some of these PvP items you can just make absolute bank in Deadman Mode, and they have told us pretty much how to get these things, which is pretty awesome. It rolls depending on the NPC's combat level, so if you kill something with a really low combat level you can still get these items, but they'll be crazy rare. The higher the combat level of the monster you're killing, the more likely it is to roll one of these items, or to roll this table. There's actually other stuff on there. There's the sigils, which are like the power-ups, kind of like in Leagues where you had the different relics. You get sigils in Deadman Mode, and you can also get food, potions, herblore supplies and emblems, which will all be a good bit of money. So you want to kill monsters with high combat and you want to kill a lot of them really fast, so you're looking for high combat monsters that you can kill safely in Deadman Mode, that have either really low HP or they're in multi-area where you can cannon them without getting wrecked by PKers. So let's jump in and look at some of the best monsters to kill to farm these here PvP weapons, and then I'll show you some other moneymakers after these, because these will be the best moneymakers. VLS in the previous one sold for like 10 mil each, and if you look at the swap rates, that was a few days in actually. I think they start about 1 to 2 mil because nobody has 10 mil in the first day, and then they drop down in price, or no, they go up in price. Yeah, they go up in price as people have more money to pay for them, you know. Alright, let's kick things off with probably the highest combat monster to have really low HP. This here is the Chasian Place over in Zaya. They've reworked this whole area lately. But this here is the Chasian Place, and just southwest of this altar there's a crypt. You do need a candle to get in here, but having an altar so close is pretty awesome. You can just replenish your prayer whenever you want. Whenever you go down here, there's a mage at the start, and he's not what you want to kill because he's got high magic defense, or it depends what you're using. If you're using range you can just kill him. I'm actually using Crumble Undead because it's a really low level spell you can use early on that deals a lot of damage to undead monsters. Everything in this crypt is undead. It's only like a zombie, a skeleton and a skeleton mage. I think there's 3 different NPCs down here. Yeah, 1 from each combat stance. If you're using mage, just don't attack the mage because he's got higher magic defense. If you're using melee or range, you can kill all 3, no problem at all. Just pray accordingly because these things do deal a lot of damage. But you can see their HP in the top left there, 54. They're 132 combat and they're only 54 HP. You can completely melt these things. All of their stats are on offensive stuff, so they do hit very accurate, very high. I think their max hit's like 18, which is pretty high if you're low level. Like day 1 Deadman mode, they could deal some damage to you, do some trouble. So you definitely want to get your prayer first. Getting prayer this season is insanely easy. You get automatically unlocked RKS favor, so you can just use Ensouled Heads from the second world straight away. You just go over, swap your spell book, so you can reanimate Ensouled Heads, and every single one you reanimate gives you like 6,000 prayer XP. Getting 43 prayer this season is going to be so easy. Dragons also drop double dragon bones, so you'll have no problem at all getting to 43 prayer. I'm just going to do Ensouled Heads because you can kill like bears, or you can even kill goblins, and you'll be able to get 43 prayer in no time. Getting Ensouled Heads really easy. Getting Nats is pretty easy, and then you just need body runes, and then your prayer is just going to fly up. I ran about this entire crypt looking for a safe spot. Unfortunately, I could not find one, but there is loads of places you can stand where you'll only get attacked by one combat style, so you can just pray one style and AFK. There won't be many clans checking this place because it's really far away from a teleport. Nobody will have a teleport close to this area and locked in the first few days anyway. Unfortunately, it is multi, so if a PKer does come, a solo PK or something, they might be able to kill you unless you can fight back or run away. The zombies do like aggro everything, so if you're running away from a PKer, you'll actually take more damage from these dudes as well. So maybe come down to the bottom floor and you probably won't be found, but just keep that in mind. It is a wee bit more risky than some of the other spots. Anyway, that's a really good one, maybe the best. Let's jump on to the second one. I forgot to mention you can use a cannon down in that crypt, so that will be a really good way to kill them a bit faster. Cannons are safe in Deadman mode. If you place it on the floor and you die, you can just go and reclaim it from the dude on Ice Wolf Mountain, you know? Or is it Ice Wolf? No, I think it's just Ice Mountain. You claim it from the dude who you visit in the quest, you know, the one who gives you the cannon mode. You guys know who I'm talking about. That's actually quite interesting. You can reclaim a cannon, so that might be a way to store some money on your third death, you know. Just buy a cannon, put it on the floor, and if you die 3 times and all your items disappear, you just go back to that quest guy and reclaim your cannon. I'm not sure if Jedix have thought of that, but if they haven't, that's pretty cool. Anyway, this here wee spot I'm going to show you is just southwest of Wintertodd. There's some ice giants here, which is quite good. You could get some Ensouled Giant Heads. You could get some nature runes as well, I think these dudes drop. And you could also get some big bones. This would be a really good place to train your prayer, but it's not actually the monster I want to show you guys. So just a tiny bit east of these ice giants, there is 4 ice wolves that are 132 combat, and they actually have the exact same HP as the ice giants. They're only 70 HP, so the ice giants are 53 combat. They've got the same HP as these dudes. So this here's a very, very strange moneymaker. Most people would think ice wolves are going to be terrible, like their only drop is wolf bones, but because they're so high combat, so low HP, they would actually be a pretty good moneymaker. You could get some really quick PvP items by killing these dudes. You can kill them really fast, and get this, they've got a 5-second respawn. Most monsters in the game have quite a long respawns, like 30 seconds or even 60 seconds. These ice wolves just pop back up after 5 seconds, which is pretty crazy. You could cannon these and kill them really fast. There you can see the one I just killed a few seconds ago is already back up. I did test this area with a cannon. I was just curious, so I popped a cannon over here on the main. I did bring the wrong cannonballs, but I managed to kill 38 of them in under 5 minutes. So you could kill over 400 wolves per hour here, and they're level 132. So no matter how rare PvP items are with level 132 combat, you'd definitely be able to get a few of them per day, which is pretty awesome. Like, considering the VLS could be over 10 mil, it could be a really good one. There is another spot where you can kill these ice wolves that's much trickier to set up. You'd need to complete some of Desert Treasure even to get here, and then you want to complete the other quest. Can't remember the name, but I'll put it on the screen. If you complete it, you can light the fires up here, and then your stats don't get drained, your run energy doesn't get drained. It's a lot of setup just to kill wolves, but it means if any PKers come here, they probably won't have them fires lit, which means their run energy is going to get drained, their special attack energy is going to get drained, their stats are going to get drained, they won't be able to cast Ice Barrage for long. You'd be able to wreck any PKer pretty much, and there's more wolves here, so a cannon would just kill way more. So this spot could be really good. It'd be really AFK because they've got no regular loots. You know, you'd only have to loot an item every, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour. It's going to be really rare, the PvP items, even with level 132 combat. But you just AFK here with Pray Melee up, have to drink a prayer potion the odd time, and then pick up them big items. You could just turn notifications on, you know, loot notifications and beams and all that stuff so you can see the items. And then just chill out. Maybe play Deadman mode as an alt, because I think nobody would check this area. You wouldn't really have to pay attention, you know. So yeah, pretty cool, interesting one. Wolves, not what you'd usually think of to make profit, but they could be really good in Deadman mode. Let's jump on to the next NPC. Okay, so this next NPC has an insane drop table. When I seen this, I was pretty surprised because I've never heard of anybody killing it in the regular version of the game, but it just prints money. It's got a really, really good drop table. So this here monster is called a Scarb Mage, and they're just insanely good. You do need to start Contact Quest to get to them, but if you actually complete Contact Quest, then you can use a bank down here, which would be quite useful for like banking stuff, restocking supplies. So would say complete Contact Quest. You could rush that and complete it and then just camp down here. It's a really rare place, so don't think PKers will come, and if they do come, you can just run around the maze and there's loads of traps that'll throw them out. You can just learn where some of the traps are. You do need a light source down here as well, so make sure you bring in a candle. Okay, there's two very different places you can kill these Scarb Mages. You can kill them in the maze, and the best spot in here is in the center where there's two of them that respawn right beside each other, or you can kill them underground, but then there's loads of Scarb Riders and different NPCs that'll attack you as well. There's range, mage, and I think melee down there, so you'll get hit with all three styles. Day one, this would definitely be the best place because you can just pray mage, kill these ones without taking any damage. They're only 50 HP, so they die really fast. They're 93 combat, so they've got a pretty good chance of rolling the Deadman mode table. Not as good as the NPCs I've shown you before, but not bad. The only problem is they've got like a 30-second respawn time, so even though they're low HP, you'll not be killing loads of them in an hour, you know, because you'd be waiting for them to respawn, at least in this location. But their drop table is insane. Let me just show you this drop table put up on screen here. So these things, even in the regular version of the game, are a really good moneymaker. 2.9k per kill. They've got loads of good alchemical drops, but then loads of the drops are going to be much more valuable in Deadman mode. Like blood runes are always crazy in that version of the game. Rune arrows are always really valuable because loads of people use the MSB, especially the first few days. They've got really good mineral drops here, like coal, adamant ore, mithril bars. All of them are going to be worth a lot more in Deadman mode than they are in this version of the game. But this here's the big one, in my opinion. They've got a 1 in 4 chance at dropping 2 to 3k coins, so your cash stack while you're killing these things is just going to fly up. I'd say just from this here loot table, you're probably looking at about 4.5k per kill, which is really good for an NPC. But then when you add on the DMM drop table, the chance of getting PvP items, supply drops and all that stuff, you're probably looking at over 10k per kill, and they're only 50 HP, so that's going to be really good moneymaker, I would say. Does require a wee bit of setup, you know. You have to complete one easy quest and then one medium quest. Well, you only have to half complete Contact actually. A lot of the drops are either alchemies or noted, so you could just camp here for ages without having the bank unlocked, you know. A really good path if you're going with Scarbs would be to train up your melee stats day 1 and 2 and those mages in the like puzzle bit of it, then come down further into this cave. You will need a better light source. If you just use a candle, it'll get extinguished, but if you get yourself some really tanky gear and pray mage down here, you take very little damage. You do get attack from all three stances, from range, melee and mage, but if you pray mage you take no damage there, and then you've got tanky gear on, you're not going to take much damage from these level 106s. They actually have a slightly better drop table than the other mages there. I think it's 3.1k it says in the wiki, but they've also got much higher HP, so they're much slower to kill. So you would still want to focus the mages, but these dudes as well have a pretty good drop table. So down here you can print money. It's kind of quest locked. It's really far from a normal teleport, so there's not going to be many PKers checking this spot regularly, and it's massive down here. There's loads of different little rooms where you can just chill and hide. Should be pretty safe down here. You can get a load of money, so definitely one to look out for. I think I might do this one in Deadman mode, but anyway, let's jump on to the next one. So another thing JetX have said is that NPCs in the wilderness will have a higher chance of dropping PvP items. That means you can get like VLSs for monsters in the wilderness, much more common than around the rest of the game. The problem with that is the wilderness is really popular in Deadman mode. Loads of PKers gets checked in the regular. I did have a look anyway, and the best NPCs there is Enkus, because they've got quite high combat, low HP, you can kill them really fast, and they've got a good blood rune drop. But there is another interesting NPC I found, one that I'm going to be using in Deadman mode that's pretty crazy, that I don't think anybody will check. Have a look at this. Okay, so day 1 Deadman mode, you can get free super anti-poisons from a respawn over by the observatory. Pick some of them up and then head into Scorpia's lair, but don't actually kill Scorpia. In this lair there's a load of little level 15 Scorpia's offsprings, and have a look at these dudes. They're 15 combat, quite low, but they only have 2 hit points. You can kill these things crazy fast, and they're in the wilderness, so there's a higher chance of them dropping PvP items than a level 15 out of the wilderness. I'm not sure how high, but get a load of this. These here little dudes actually print prayer XP. They've got a 1 in 25 drop of Ensouled Scorpio heads, and as I said earlier, you auto unlock 100% in all the favors when you get to 35 combat, so you can just straight off go over there at 35 combat, use all your Ensouled Scorpio heads, get your prayer out of the way. So this will be one of the fastest, easiest ways to train prayer in Deadman mode, and because they're in the wilderness, higher chance at PvP items. I'm not sure how high considering they're quite low combat, but you can kill them extremely fast and nobody's going to check this day one. If anybody comes in here without Antipoison and Scorpio gets on them day one, they're just going to get pretty wrecked, you know. So a really good one early on. I would use Range or Mage though, because you kind of want to shoot them from a distance. You could bring an Event RPG for that faster attack speed if you want to get some melee XP out of the way day one. But this is a really obscure one that might be pretty good. It depends how much more likely things in the wild are to drop those items, but because you kill them so fast, even if it's really rare because they're low combat, you could probably get some PvP items in here killing these dudes. Their Scorpio got on me. If that happens, you just leave, come in through another door, run to the other side. Pretty easy like, and you've got your super anti-poison already. So yeah, really weird one, but could be really good. Another item that sells for bank in Deadman mode that's very cheap in the regular version of the game is Runecraft and Talismans. So a lot of PKers, they skull up and then they use these talismans as a really quick escape, or somewhere just to lose their skulls. So you can come in to the Abyssal area, you can kill these here Abyssal Leeches, and they've got a 1 in 51 chance of dropping a various talisman, you know, for runecrafting. But there's so many different talismans that it's very likely that you'll get one, and they're only 10 HP, 41 combat, and the respawn time is really fast. So you can kill these things extremely fast. I already got a fire talisman there after killing 2. You get a load of these talismans, they will sell for quite a bit in the Grand Exchange. I don't really like this moneymaker, I'm quite lazy. I'd rather do things that are a bit more AFK, and these here you have to click on them every single time. So not really for me, but some of you guys could make bank here with the Abyssal Leeches. Honourable mention, I tested this here big demon from Family Crest Quest. He's 170 combat, pretty low defense, and he's only 60 HP, so you can actually kind of wreck this boss. You can kill him really fast. He has a 100% drop of Vile Ashes, but it's a bit of effort casting all them spells and all. You could probably just AFK some Black Demons. It would take you a lot longer to kill them, but they're quite similar in combat. Maybe this will work for some of you guys. You could train prayer down here and maybe get some PvP weapons. So you could make bank down here. It's a very strange place. It's just under Edgeville Dungeon. It's really popular in the Chaos Druids to the east, really popular in the Black Demons to the north, because people do Wildy Slayer and stuff around here. But you could just kill this dude. He does have a very slow respawn time though, so after you kill him, just hop to the next world. Rinse and repeat. I'm not sure if it works or if it's viable, but just thought I'd leave it in for you guys. And here is the one I'm going to be camping for most of Deadman mode. Blood Shards from the Firewatch Sentinels. These are 4 times more likely to drop in Deadman mode than they are in the regular version of the game. They are pretty rare in the regular version at 1 to 1500, but 4 times more likely means you could probably get some of them, and I think these will be best in slot in the final 1v1s, so a lot of people are going to want to buy Blood Shards during this season. There's so many good things about the Firewatch Sentinels. They're extremely AFK, their drops are awesome, their normal loot table is awesome, the Blood Shards will be worth bank this season. They're quest locked, so they're going to be pretty safe, not many PKers over here. I'm actually going to kill them in a different location than this altar. I plan having one alt, just killing these here dudes, completely AFK, while I have fun and PK and stuff like that on a different account. I suck at PKing, so mostly be doing Russian. So what I'm going to do is leave my alt over here in the northeast side of Darkmere. Shouldn't really tell people this, but I think a lot less people will check this location, because most people who kill these dudes kill them over by the altar where you get free prayer. But prayer pots and super restores are going to be so cheap this season. Every single monster in the game has access to those supply drops, so I'm just going to bank here. I'll just use potions, be much safer, be able to fully AFK and make some bank off them shards. JetX did make a lot of items 4 times more common this season, and you can check all of them out in the Deadman mode blog. A lot of these I left out of this list because they're either really risky to go to, there'll be a lot of PKers, or because they're so common they just will be pretty cheap, you know. The ones that will make bank are the ones that are 4 times more likely and quest locked, because then less people will be doing them. Another spot I'm going to show you before we finish up today, it's not crazy, But if you like AFK and if you just want somewhere you can chill for the entire season without ever seeing a PKer, this little cave might be the one for you. So a lot of you guys will actually remember this cave from the quest A Night at the Theatre. If you visit it during the quest, it's completely empty until you touch the egg sac at the end. Then a couple of these spiders come out, but if you visit it after completing the quest, it is completely swamped with these here spiders, level 87s and level 123 spiders that have a really good drop table. I'll just put that on screen. They drop loads of runes, a couple of alchables and loads of like stackable stuff, so they're quite good to kill. They're really high level as well, and it's multi and you can place a cannon, so you can kill loads of them, and they're really close together, so cannon just goes mad in here. There is one thing to consider with these spiders: they do inflict venom, which can completely wreck if you're not prepared for it, so make sure you bring in a few anti-poisons and you will be fine. Or if it's later on in DMM mode, you can just wear a serpentine helm and you won't be hit. Alright, we're going to wrap this one up here. There is still hundreds of other high level NPCs in old school RuneScape that you could kill, but a lot of them either have really high HP, really high defense, or they're in populated areas where PKers would likely visit. I kind of want to focus on ones that you can kill fast in remote areas where you're not going to get PK'd. But I looked at all of this on the bestiary and the wiki, and it was really helpful, so I'm going to put a link to that in the description if any of you guys want to check them out. You can instantly filter HP and all that kind of stuff. It's just on the wiki, you can find it very easily, but I'll put the link anyway just to make it easy for you guys. If you made it this far, consider whacking some of them buttons below and putting a wee comment in for the owl algorithms, and if not, no worries. Anyway, I will catch you guys in the next video very soon. Take it easy, bye.